How's it going, everyone? My name is True Wonder Dog, and it looks like both Jax and Jacqui became stronger after the recent update. Especially Jax. Now all three of his variations feel a lot more viable. So without any further ado, let's break down these changes step by step. So for starters, Quick Drill can now be high and low parried, and that includes the second hit, which is the funny part because that second hit, if you look closely, is a high, and yet even so, it can still lose to low parries. However, oddly enough, I tested it, and Sonya, because she crouches to go for the parry, actually can't low parry that second hit, but characters like Spawn and everyone else still can. So if you're a Jax player and you love to abuse this string, just keep in mind the first and second hit can now be beaten by high and low parries. It's now a lot weaker. And next up we have Boot Camp. So that second hit now does 50 instead of 30, so a minor damage buff, but now the overall string does 77. And I like this change a lot because sometimes you don't want to commit to the full string since it switches sides and you lose the corner advantage. And you want to do the lows over and over again when the opponent's cornered because you can charge this big overhead and then get your crushing blow for a bunch of fun combos. And depending on the variation, Jax doesn't have many launchers, so it's very good to use crushing blows like that, and this string just makes him crouch that much more, and now it does more damage. Very good change. However, oddly enough, the final hit of the full string actually does less damage. It was nerfed a little bit. Now I'm not sure if the string does more damage overall since the second hit got buffed. Someone in the comments please tell me. I didn't play Jax enough to know the exact damage it did before. I'm hoping it still does more damage or is at least even, but someone in the comments tell me because it now does 154 after that third hit's damage was reduced a bit. And sadly, even though the final hit is a throw input, it's still not an unblockable. It has remained a mid, which is fine, but some characters got the mix up. It would have been cool if Jax got that too, but maybe that would have been a bit too strong. Jax is already a pressure monster. And this next change is one of my favorites. So Ripped Amplify now has less combo scaling, and what that means is every hit afterwards now does more damage than it used to, which means Ripped is now your most damaging way to extend combos. And this is a wonderful change because before, this was actually your most damaging launcher, which is back forward 2 and then Amplify, and that didn't make sense because it was already faster, so it combos in more situations, and it has mix-ups. It can be a low, it can be an overhead, you can cancel it, all that good stuff, and even so, it still did more damage as well, so you pretty much had no reason to use Ripped, but now you finally do thanks to that reduced combo scaling. In fact, let's check out one of these combos. Ooh, look at that. You're now getting a flat 30% for one of his best and easiest strings. Oh my goodness, that's great. I love that. Really easy hit confirms and almost 30% every time. And you're also already fully heated up after most of these combos as well, which means you have the forward throw, crushing blow, all that good stuff. I think this small change may go a long way to making this variation a bit more popular because pretty much everyone played variation 2, but I think more people are going to want to check out Grinning Barrette because these combos are now more damaging like they should be. And it's also a lot easier to get heated up in this variation as well. And we're still not done with the buffs for this variation. Next up we have Briggs Barricade. So this is the anti-projectile special move. So this move now has 19 active frames instead of 24, but to make up for it, it recovers 5 frames faster. So what this means is if the opponent goes for a projectile, you're not active for quite as long, but that's actually a good thing if you time it right because it means you recover faster as well. So not just 5 less recovery frames, but also less active frames mean you recover that much sooner. So in other words, Jax can reflect and then block a lot sooner than most characters, which is a very nice advantage to have. And then on top of that, the amplified version also recovers 6 frames faster as well. Now you can only amplify if you reflect, but look at that, just 2 projectiles and I'm already fully heated up, which means if I close that gap, I have a bunch of crushing blows coming your way. And his Hunker Down variation only got 1 change, but it seems like a pretty decent one. So now when he does his anti-air burning hammer, his hitbox on his head is a bit smaller, so it's a bit tougher to hit him if you're doing a jump in. So real quick, let's go ahead and test that. I'm gonna have Devora just do a regular standard jump in, and I should be pretty much immune the entire time. Okay, still not completely immune, but I am more immune than I was. Honestly, it's already a really good move, and she may be hitting something besides my head. But the idea is your head's victim region has been adjusted, so it's just tougher for the opponent to hit your head if you're doing this move already. And then the rest of these changes have to do with his variation 3. So Lethal Clap now has 2 more active frames. That's good because this is also his armor breaking move for beating Breakaway, so it's active for just a bit longer. And it also has 2 less recovery frames if it misses. Now it still has a ton, that's almost a full second of recovery, but even so it recovers a bit faster, and that's always a good thing. And of course, as mentioned earlier, this is also his armor break move, so if the opponent does a breakaway, you can give him the clap and get some guaranteed damage. Now its damage actually isn't too bad either, it's 70. Now if you're only at level 1, you don't really get anything from mid-screen, but if you're level 3, you can actually pop them up again and then get a follow-up where you do pretty much just this move and then amplify, the first hit won't land, so it's gonna look like this. You get some pretty decent damage. Check this out. As you can see, around 34%, which isn't too bad for one bar, and keep in mind you can just keep doing this over and over. And then in the corner is where things get really fun, because you can still relaunch them even at like level 2. It still works. And you can still go for like bink bink, bink bink, and then end with this, or just a clap again if you don't want to spin the bar. So a basic corner combo would look a bit like this. Look at that, almost 40%, and it didn't even cost any meter. If you want to spin the bar, you're getting around 420. Yes, I know, leave all your jokes in the comment section, but here's what that combo looks like. And you actually don't even need a crushing blow to make these happen because you're in variation 3, which can already launch even without meter. So you can launch them and then clap them again. I mean, sure, the crushing blow combos will do more damage, but even so, the opponent really can't escape damage in the corner against Jax's variation 3. And after that, all we have is some bug fixes. So Jack got a couple of nerfs here and there, but overall, I'd say he got stronger, especially in his less popular variations. Variation 1 was already my personal favorite, and now it does more damage, so just more reason to play it. And it's also a bit better at countering keep away now as well. And since variation 3 has the armor break, that's definitely going to make it more popular, especially in the corner where the opponent can pretty much never escape your damage. So I strongly recommend trying out variation 3 if you haven't already, because once you put the opponent in the corner, their health bar just dies. And for the most part, Jacqui didn't get changed at all, so she's still pretty top tier, which makes me happy because I like playing her. But if you hated Jacqui, she's pretty much the same, at least for now. A lot of people are currently freaking out on Twitter, so I wouldn't be surprised if she got nerfed in the upcoming future, but for now at least, she's still the little punchy that I know and love. But to start things off, Train to Kill now does the correct damage on block. So I'm not sure if before it did a crazy amount of damage or if it did barely any damage at all, but now it does the correct damage. I kinda wish NetherRealm was a bit more specific sometimes in these patch notes, because I'm not sure if it does more or less, but the point is it does regular damage now. And next up, the opponent's victim region has been adjusted when hit by step kick. So I'm wondering if they're just a bit closer now or something. Like, can I do that? Okay, coolio. Can I do that? Well, I could always do that. But I guess the idea is that now your follow-up is never going to miss, even if you land this at max range. That's mainly what I get, and I imagine you can still bob and weave cancel and be right in front of their face. You're now close enough to make sure that all of those possibilities now function properly. And now we're in variation 2 because Dive Bomb of all moves is the one that breaks armor now. Now this could be a game changer for Jacqui depending on how good it is, because before this variation was pretty unpopular. I think pretty much only Sonic Fox played it, and even then I think they were only doing it for fun. So now the fact that variation 2 is the only variation that has an armor break may make it a lot more popular. However, this move can only be done in the air, so let's see if we can even connect it. Maybe. It may be like Kung Lao's dive kick. Oh man, it's not a good angle. I don't know. Oh my god, you can do it, but it's super tough, man, because you don't jump right away after the screen zooms out, so the timing's already weird, and then the second you jump, you gotta do down forward 3. And let's be real, once again, most players aren't going to break away immediately, they're gonna get the delayed breakaway, so maybe then I can do like a jumping kick into it. Nah, the angle's still not good for that. But it's still going to be much easier to land the special move in general, and my goodness, you're at like plus 40, so that's definitely a follow-up. But already that short combo is getting over 30%, and that was just a jumping kick into breakaway, so imagine a full combo into breakaway and then you land that. Is it possible after the stanky leg? I don't think so. That's the thing. It looks like NetherRealm intentionally gave Jacqui a pretty weak armor break, at least in terms of her combos, because let's be real, her combos are already pretty deadly, so I think making Dive Bomb her armor break may have been intentional just to nerf her a little bit, because she can't have a godlike armor break when she's already godlike at a lot of other things. Because honestly, the more I test this, even with a delayed breakaway, I'm not going to be able to jump and then do a dive break in time. It's just not going to happen, especially in situations like this. There is just no way. Maybe after a crushing blow, and that's about it. Otherwise, I am never landing this thing. And even there, it's really tough. Yeah, it may be honestly one of the worst armor breaks in the game, at least in terms of relaunching for combos, but tell me in the comments if you found any way to get it reliably. It just doesn't seem super good. And unfortunately, that might mean that variation 2 is still going to be the least popular variation, because even though it does have the armor break, it doesn't seem like a super useful armor break. However, if you enjoy custom combat, then you're in luck, because Hyper Knee also breaks armor and she gets the crushing blow. And I did a whole video on this move. You can amplify even after the crushing blow for like a solid 31%, and this thing is definitely fast enough to work in most situations. I didn't time it right, but trust me, it works. Oh yeah, it'll catch, and then you can amplify it. Look at that, you're getting almost 40% for just 2 moves, so a full combo that would have hurt quite a lot. So yeah, Hyper Knee is going to be so much better for breaking armor in custom combat. Look at this. Oh, as I'm talking to you, 44% almost. Oh yeah, this is definitely the armor breaking move that Jacqui fans want. So if you want a really good armor break, then just play custom combat, because she got it. And this last change is actually a bug fix, and I thought it was fixed already, but it was a very big deal. People were complaining about this a lot, and it's not the easiest thing to explain, so please try and stay with me. So if you did a jump in pretty late and the opponent blocked it, you could cancel into her special move, whether it be air shrapnel or air rocket, and you would land at like plus 30 or like plus 15, so you had guaranteed pressure, even more than normal. But now if you do that, it's the exact same. So if I land right here, it's plus 8. If I cancel it, I'm actually only at like plus 6, I think. Or plus 8, yeah, it's actually worse. So if I had just done the punch by itself, I'm actually far more plus than if I cancel it. But used to canceling that actually removed your landing frames because you would cancel into the special move, but then the special move wouldn't come out because you landed, and this gave you really, really good frame advantage on block, and even on hit it was still really good, but on block was the main idea because they had to deal with anything you did, whether it was a throw, or a mid, or even a low like this, which is 14 frames, they still had to deal with it because you're at like plus 16 when you did this. But hopefully that never happened to you, and now it never will, because that glitch is completely gone. Once again, I thought it was already removed, but now it seems like it's finally gone for good. But yeah, that's about it for the changes, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below. It really does help my channel out a ton. And while you're down there, please post your comments on these changes and how you feel about them. And finally, why not keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell? That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.